I'm Zana, and welcome to Lesson 26, Year 2 Phonics. Let's get started. We need to warm up our phonological awareness in our brains, ready to read and write with those sounds we're learning today. We're going to start with our phonemic awareness. We're going to use our graphemes today. Let's get going. Let's start with the word share. Tap and say sh-air. Let's find the graphemes. Sh, air. Were you with me last week? Did you learn this way of making air? Say the word share. I wonder if we take the S off of the sh sound, we get a different sound. What's that going to be? Let's take away the S. It's just the sound. So let's swap sh for the word is hair. Say hair, but this time swap the sound for a f sound. Have you worked it out? That's it. Fare. This is like the bus fare, the money you pay to the bus driver so you can travel on the bus. Not fair like it's not fair. Right, this time we're going to add a phoneme. Are you ready? After the f, I want you to add in a l. What's it going to make? Think about it. I'll show you with the graphemes. Let's tap and say f-l-air, flare. This is the flare like you'd let off a flare on the boat if you're in trouble. Big like firework. Flare. Last word, we're going to change f for g. What's that going to make? Flare becomes glare. Well done. Are we all ready? We're going to go on now with our definitions. All right, let's start with our definitions. Can you remember them all? Let's go first with a phoneme. A phoneme is a single sound in a word. A grapheme. A grapheme is a letter or a group of letters that represent one sound or phoneme. Next one, we have digraph. A digraph is two letters that make one sound. Di means two, tri means three. Trigraph is three letters that make one sound. And we have sometimes a quadgraph, which is four letters that make one sound. Last one we've got today is a syllable. Remember, a syllable is a beat in a word and it always has a vowel in it. Now that we know our definitions and we've warmed up our phonological awareness and our phonemic awareness, let's tune in and review our graphemes. See how quickly we can do it today. Ah. Two sounds, voiced and unvoiced. F. O. S. E. Two sounds, hard one. G. Soft one. J. Our first choice for spelling. Qu. Remember, Q and U always go together. U as in screw, U as in Jew. K. End of a short word after a short vowel. Oi, also usually at the end of words. Oi, middle of the word. Z. F. U. These were the ones we did last time. Can you remember? There's three different ones. Air, air, air. Well done. Our learning intention for today is to use the grapheme S to represent the phoneme Z to read and write words. Did you know that back in Old English time, there was no grapheme to represent the phoneme Z? The closest one they could find was the letter S, and so that's the one they used. Now, we still use the letter S to represent the phoneme Z following voiced sounds in words, voiced vowels and voiced consonant sounds. So let's investigate a little bit more of some of those words today. So we know that S can make the phoneme Z when it's with a voiced vowel or a voiced consonant. Let's find out a little bit more about that spelling pattern. So S can make the phoneme Z when it's between two vowels, like in rose. Let's check it. consonant. Oh, I'm going to write it actually. I'm going to write it just to check it. So we've got some boxes here. That's what they're for. So is a consonant. O or O sound in here is a vowel. There's the S. We'll put a star there because that's the one we're checking. And another vowel. So S can make the phoneme Z when it's between two vowels, like in rose. Can we see here that it's between two vowels and it's making the Z sound? Let's tap and say the sounds in rose. O, Z. Can you hear that Z sound at the end? Even though we've got the grapheme S or the S grapheme, it's not making the S phoneme, it's making a Z phoneme. O, Z, between two vowels. The other time that S can make the phoneme Z is when it's at the end of a word. So in this word, we've got T-O-Z. There it is. It's at the end of the word, and it's making a Z sound, even though it's the letter S. And this is a voiced sound too, the O. If you want to know if a sound is voiced or unvoiced, sometimes you can feel it in your throat when you say it. Oh, and you can feel your voice box vibrating. The other way to check if a sound is voiced is to pop your fingers over your ears and say the sound. So if you say S and put your fingers over your ears, you won't hear it very loudly. But if you say Z and put your fingers over your ears, it'll be very loud because your voice box is going. So it's a voiced sound. One of the reasons why we have S making Z after voice sounds is that it's really tricky for us to stop making those voice sounds and then put an unvoiced sound right next to it. So it's just the way it helps us to flow and talk if we use that voiced sound Z instead of S after those vowels and voiced consonants. Okay, so let's check some examples of when that spelling pattern works in words. So remember, S can make the phoneme Z when it's between two vowels, as in those, amuse, please, and because. Can you hear that Z sound in all of those? Try holding your fingers over your ears or on your throat and see if you can hear that voiced Z sound when you see the phoneme, when you see the grapheme S in those words. S can also make the phoneme Z when S is at the end of a word. Here's some words that have S at the end of the word. Listen carefully and see if you hear S or Z. Is, has, was, does, hers. Did you hear that Z sound? Did you feel your voice being activated? Good job. Let's read some more words where we've got the grapheme S making the phoneme Z. Tap and say the first word. This is a really easy one. You might not even need to do that one. Az, as. O-Z, rose. Oh, this is tricky. This is one of our tricky words. Remember that the O and the E makes an sound in this word. D-a-z, does. H-is, his. Oh, remember A following W often makes an sound. W-o-z, was. There's a couple of tricky words in this row, isn't there? You might see them a lot. So you're using that grapheme S making the phoneme Z when you're doing lots of your reading and writing because these are quite common words. Let's have a look in this next row. Remember, the S is making the Z sound. Ooze, whose. Used, amused, like a bit funny. Is, these. Ozed, closed. This one we did in our grapheme deck today. A's, phrase. Last row, see if you can read them before I do. Accuse. Oh, now this has got 3 syllables, so I'll scoop the syllables for you to help make it a bit easier to read. Advertise. Compound word. Clockwise. 2 syllables. Compose. Compose. This one, 3-syllable word. I'll scoop the syllables. Are you ready? Exercise. Exercise. Did you get them all? Let's try and read them a little bit faster. Let's start with the second row. Are you ready? Let's get our fluency going a little bit more. We've had one read already. Let's read them through again a bit faster this time. Whose, amused, these, closed, phrase. Let's try row 1. As, rose, does, his, was. And the last row, these ones are a little bit trickier. Ready? Accuse, advertise, clockwise, compose, exercise. You ready? Let's see if we can work out what some of these words mean now. In the second row, can you find the word that means to find something funny or entertaining? If you found something funny or entertaining, what word might it be? Phrase? Definitely not. You might be amused if you find something funny or entertaining. You might say that you were amused by it. In the third row, can you find a 3-syllable word? There might be more than one. Have a look. What did you find? Did you get advertise, 3 syllables, or you might have picked exercise, also 3 syllables. You might have got both of them. Well done if you did. Great reading. Last question. In the 4th column, can you find the word that means to create or make something? Create or make? Certainly not closed. Must be this one. Compose. If you compose something, you create or make it. Well done. Let's move on to our next activity. Okay, are you ready to write some words using the grapheme S that makes the Z phoneme? Let's go. First word, a nice easy one. Oh, actually, before we start, I know what we haven't done. We haven't activated our brain and our body. We need to do our skywriting, don't we? Silly me. Let's have a look. So we've got S making, or S making the Z pattern as in rose. Let's skywrite that and say Z as we do it. So S is making Z. Are you ready to skywrite? Get your fingers ready. S is Z. So Z, Z, Z. And we're going to write it 3 times on our page as well, because remember, the more we do it, the better it helps our brain to make that connection. Have you got something to write on and something to write with? If not, pause and come back. Okay, got your pen ready? Remember, we're really fussy about handwriting. We're going to write that grapheme S, but when we do it, it's saying Z. The phoneme is Z. So we're writing the letter S, but the phoneme is going to be Z today. So let's go. Z. 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 Now we're ready to write some words. We've tuned in our brains. We know that when we write that S grapheme, that it's making the Z phoneme. Our first word is as. Z, as. Don't get tricked. Remember, what are we using for that phoneme today? You write it and then check it. Z. And write the whole word as. Did I hear you sounding those words out as you were writing them? I hope so, because remember, if we say it, it helps our brain to connect it more. Our next word that we're going to write is those. Th-o-z, those. Ooh, now that O sound is a split vowel. I'll give you that clue. Have a go and see if you can get it right. Th-o-z. Check. Th-o-z. And we can see that that little E there is making the long O sound. Those. Let's write the whole word. Th-o-z. Those. Our next word is rose. Tap and say r-o-z. It's another split vowel again. Remember to put that in there. You write it. Come and check it. Have a go. O, Z. There it is again, making that long sound. Write the whole word, say the whole word. O, Z, rose. Good work. Next word. Remember how we said it could be between a vowel or at the end of the word? This time, listen for the Z sound at the end of the word. The word is kids. Kids. What K might you use? Which one goes after with the I? K, I. It's the K. Use the K. K, I, D, Z. Kids. Say it as you write it. Write the whole word. K, I, D, Z. Kids. K, I, D, Z. Kids. Can you hear that and feel that Z at the end of kids? It's not kids. Kids, kids. I can't even do it because my voice is already switched on. So it's a Z sound. Make sure you can hear that when you're saying it. Our next word is phrase. It's a tricky F in phrase. Do you remember we read it in our word grid not that long ago? The F in phrase is made with the letters PH. PH. I think you can work out the rest if I give you that one. So say the sounds. F, A's. It's a split vowel and the F is PH. Have a go. A, Z. There's that split vowel. Did you get the PH making the F sound in phrase? Let's write the whole word. A's. Phrase. Good job. One more word. Let's see how we go. This one's a 3-syllable word. Are you ready for it? We're going to break it into its syllables to help you. The word is exercise. X, X, first choice for spelling, and then size. Now the size, remember we did the gentle Cindy? Because the C is next to an I, it's making a S sound. So the S sound in exercise is a C, all right? And the Z sound is an S. All these letters doing tricky things. Have a go and come back and check it. Are you ready? X, S, I don't have enough boxes. I'm going to add another one in here for the Z. Oh, I've done something a little bit tricky here. I've put the X right in the middle of 2 boxes. Because how many sounds do we hear when we say X? We actually hear 2. So that's why it's taking up 2 boxes. Because when we say X, we hear a K and a S together. X. So that one goes over 2 boxes. It's a bit like when we did Q and we squished them together because they always go together. So X, I's, exercise. Let's write the whole word. X, I's, exercise. Big long word, 3 syllables. If you got it right with all those tricky letter combinations, you did really well. If you didn't get it the first time, that's okay. Have another go. Check mine, tap and say, have another go, and get it right. And then give yourself a big tick. Well done, you've made it through the lesson with all those tricky words, all that reading and writing. Now it's time for our review. Can you remember what our learning intention was today? Our learning intention was to use the grapheme S, making the phoneme Z to read and write words. And I think, just between you and me, we did a really good job of it. Are you ready now then for your independent activity? On your screen, you will see a word chart with lots of words in it. And those words will have the S grapheme making Z either between 2 vowels or at the end of words after a voiced sound. What you need to do is to sort those words into the 2 places where they come in the spelling rule. So, have one column where it is making Z between 2 vowels and have another column where S is making Z at the end of the word. So 2 columns, one with S making Z between 2 vowels, one with S making Z at the end of a word. Sort those words into those 2 columns. That's your task at home. Well done for all your hard work today. Have a go of that independent activity. I'll catch you next time.